for the event, for the theme, to wear this Gimp t-shirt made by James from Rubberman of London. What do we have? Oh yeah, actually today in the Netherlands we have quite a special day because we celebrate the Liberation Day and freedom from World War II. And wanted to make Edwin is also joining. Nice.
I'll enter them.
Yeah, and it's always a celebration here the evening before of the 4th of May to have a speech on the Dam Square in Amsterdam, and was actually I wanted to make a note on it because it was quite special that this year the person who gave the speech actually talked about the Homo Monument, which is the monument with built in 1987, and the Netherlands was the first country in the world to have a monument to commemorate the LGBTQI+ who died during the war. So it was quite nice that at the big, where everybody was on TV, he talked about this. So that's something, of course, we're very proud of, and I could not mention it.
André van Duin needs to be mentioned in this case. That was really great, really moving.
And well, what better link than from freedom to exploring the freedom in gimping and droning? Because maybe Gimps are not so much associated with freedom, actually maybe a little bit tight. And
we're still free, we choose not to be free.
But yeah, maybe that's a way also to get free in some other ways. So yeah, I don't have announcements about events, but if you know of any, feel free to drop them in the chat and then we can review during the evening. Then I think we can get started and get our two fantastic and shiny guests from the US and Germany, so international, to join tonight. So Jack and Johnny, thank you for being here. Johnny for a second time, and also Jack. Maybe we can start with a little introduction of yourselves, maybe starting with Jack.
Sure. Hi, I'm Jack Hellwing. I am 26. I am a rubber gimp, really into rubber and very tight stuff and bondage and submission and this kind of stuff. I discovered rubber a long time ago, but I only really came out in like 2019 when I started my Instagram and I met Johnny and so it's been a journey, and yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Cool. Yeah, I have lots of questions, and I'm sure others too. So I'm gonna get that. Thanks. And Johnny.
Sure. I'm Johnny Iron, formerly Pup Iron. I started my fetish journey in the pup community, but realized that rubber is my true calling. So it's been an evolution. 36 years old, though I probably look Jack's age. Really into heavy bondage, as you can see, thanks to one of our guests in our chat today. Yeah, I guess you'll find out more about us during today's call.
Cool, thank you, Johnny. Maybe to start, I was also thinking about the gimps and drones, maybe to give some definitions. Jack or Johnny, how would you, and maybe there are even more shades.
So I've always been curious about what the word gimp means, right? Because especially as like a non-native English speaker, it sounds, I still don't know what it is. Like it for the most part in our community, it seems to involve rubber and full coverage and sort of objectification. But, you know, I've seen in pop culture, people call other people gimps and they're like fully naked. So it definitely doesn't mean object, right? It's, or like, you know, it's not necessarily, it doesn't involve full coverage. But I guess it's been a diminishing term to talk about, you know, somebody that's like submissive to you, or that's not a full person. And we've sort of sexualized this and turned it into fun game. And drone, well, I guess it, it appeals to this whole being controlled by somebody else thing. Like, just having somebody have a remote control and decide on your actions, and you just follow what they tell you. What about Johnny? What do you think? It's I don't know.
I mean, it's really all up, from going through my fetish journey. It's really up to the person on how they want to define it in the context of the play that they're having. Some people may disagree with us, where it's like that they may know the true definition of what exactly it should be, and should be confined to certain boundaries. But I truly believe it's really up to the individuals, and the consent discussed between the two of what's, of what is going to occur for the evening. My background picture, I guess you can consider that more Gimp. I've been in other situations where I've been tied up, but I've had a VR headset on me with earplugs with sound, and there's a spiral going on the VR set, and it's playing subliminal suggestive messaging. Do you want to come, or do you really want to come? Things like that, where I would think that would fall more under the drone type of play. But again, it's really up to the individuals and what they make of it.
Cool. That sounds a lot of fun, this VR system.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll get to the links to all the recommended toys. And can you guys tell us maybe a bit also about how you got into all this fun?
Sure. I can start if you want. I think these things, you're always kind of into it, right? Like, I can definitely pinpoint moments in my childhood right now where I see, oh yeah, okay, I was already into these things. I just, didn't know or didn't want to know. But I guess very early on, when I started masturbating and watching porn and stuff like that, I drifted towards kinkier stuff, and I just saw rubber through porn, and like, it sort of became a thing that I fantasized with. And then I spent some time in the Netherlands with school, and I was finally, detached from home, free to do whatever I wanted, and I got the chance to try it a few times, and like, oh my God, I was so scared, but like deep inside, I knew that it was like, oh my God, this is like the best sex I've ever had, and this is like the coolest thing. But there was this other part of me that was like, wow, you're gonna ruin your life. so yeah, so like, I know now, I know better, right? But like, I was terrified, and I was, there was this sort of battle inside of me between like the kinky side that wanted to try more stuff and like, have fun, and the repressive good boy that was like, oh my God, you have, you want to build a career, you want to build a future, you want to have a family, what's going to happen? And then I moved to New York, and I kept exploring it, and I bought my first suit, and I didn't really come to terms with it until I started my social media accounts, because that's where I saw that there was a lot of people like me, and that it was okay, and I started with Twitter, and Twitter is like a lot because there's like a lot of porn there, and it's like stressful. But then I started with Instagram, which is because of all this censorship, it's a lot more removed, right? It's more about the photos and the people, and it's like a little bit more relaxed in this way. And I started, making friends and connecting with people and seeing that, there was normal people with normal lives that also were into this, and that that it wasn't wrong. And yeah, then, just got sucked into it, and here I am.
Johnny, how about you?
Sure. I guess for me, I'm a big movie buff. I like my movies. So I guess it started back originally with leather. And that was with the Terminator and Mad Max.
Ooh.
So that's like, because I mean, you're seeing a naked muscle guy travel back through time and just appear, full frontal on screen or whatever. Or and then I think it was Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior. I forgot the character's name, but he had on a old-time hockey goalie mask, and was in leather briefs, and was like the warlord of the other tribe. And for latex, it was first the Matrix.
Ooh.
And then I guess as the internet really took off, I had stumbled, I think it was pictures on Tumblr at the time, before Tumblr had the purge of removing sexualized content. And through Tumblr, I found a website called, I believe they're out of Seattle. They're called Reflective Desire. And it's an all female cast there. And it just, it didn't matter if it was man or woman, it's just latex. It just looked very sexy, very, very tight, very shiny. And that's what really drew me to it. And I guess at one point, I did stumble across Jack's Twitter at the time. And then that's where I really ramped up my love for latex. And then we sort of connected and wound up going to the New York Bondage Club together. When Jack was very hesitant of coming out and having some public play, and able to convince him to come out. And it was a grand old time. So if you can find those pictures,
I'll say, I mean, in my defense, I'll say that, like, okay, I had, like, I moved to New York, I had like a job there, and I had gone to school there too. I was and I'm still a little scared of running into people in full rubber now. Now I'm more like, okay, fine, I guess it's cool enough that I can just say it. But like back then I was terrified. Like, what if I run into my teacher? Or, which is like, I'm still a little scared of it, but I guess I'll be okay.
What does it matter? Your teacher is probably 5 feet away on Grindr, Scruff, or Recon, or whatever. So it doesn't, it's New York City.
Fair, very
fair. Very liberating part of the country. So.
Yeah, talking about freedom, very liberating.
Or if you run into somebody, you just say, hey, there was a cosplay convention or something.
Yeah. I mean,
New York Comic-Con is in town. Or,
sure. Yeah, and I'm suddenly like, come on, this is not Comic-Con.
Oh, you'd be surprised, people showing up there. Very surprised.
But Jack, I don't think that the teacher would recognize you with mask and everything.
Yeah, it's true. Well, my voice is pretty recognizable. I'm pretty sure that people that know me, like, know it. But But yeah. It's
That's
always been
always
weird.
Fear fantasy, yeah. It's always the fear fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, you're for those who might not know Jack's Instagram, really, you're missing out because Jack, you're incredibly creative and like you mentioned, working with yeah, let's say the shot like almost photographer setting a scene. So that's clearly, I think I see it as an aspect of an artistic aspect in the in that gimping. So how do you how does that work for you, the maybe more artistic and the eye, or the more experiencing things?
So it's been a weird like journey, right? These were two very separate worlds. I do like video production things for a living, and and then I like this. But I guess at some point in the Instagram, both things came together, right? And I started like finding, you know, the possibility to make all these more creative things with you know, all the production knowledge that I had and all these things. And then you know, I started dating Slickskin, who is like super awesome with like the photography, and he always has a great eye for the outfits and how things should look. And this thing just sort of exploded, and you know, we started making more and more things and like weird stuff, and and now it's like it's so much work to take every single photo. But it's I love it. I don't know, it's just like I don't get to use, you know, I don't get to do all these fun things in my normal work life. I get to use these tools sometimes, but like for a lot more boring things. So this is a great way for me to like play and experiment and stuff. But before, you know, social media and all these like things, I was just into the play a lot. Like I entered this world just like this, yeah, the kink world, just by playing with people, and it was just sex and all these things. But then it sort of crossed with the artsy part of it, and now I like both.
And Johnny, what is your take between, let's say, aesthetics and experience?
So originally, when I first started playing, I was absolutely petrified, even though my face was covered either with a blindfold and gag or a rubber hood or a pup hood. I didn't want any pictures of me at all. And then as I played more and got more comfortable with myself and play, when someone showed me a private picture that they took of me, because I asked for some private pictures, I was like, oh, this looks pretty hot. And then then the snowball effect happened of more play and the addiction of more pictures. And I keep telling myself I have to get another hard drive just to put all this crap on, because it's just, it really is spiraling out of control of how addicted you become of like that, for instance. And it's just, you know, I'm very happy that Diger in this chat has a keen eye of how to set up these shots when I absolutely have no control. And then, you know, we play around with them in Photoshop Express, you know, just altering lighting, moods, and whatnot. Yeah, I really hope to do more fetish photography. I don't have as much time as Jack does on my hands.
Come on.
Well, it's true. Every day I see like a new Hollywood studio set up by you. I mean, do you have access to like Universal's back lot or something? Because
I have. It's all a lie. Like what you learn to do with this is just to create spaces with very cheap stuff. In my school one day, I did this. I was working on this sort of reality show, and I had to create like a game show kind of setup, and I did it all with cardboard, and it looked like a real TV show. I mean, almost, but it was all like you could blow into it, and it would just all fall apart. So it's all a lie. There's no real studio of anything. Like this is a fucking. Oh my god. See what I'm saying?
Exemplified.
And outside that studio, then the only thing you do is hijacking buses, like we saw recently.
Oh my god.
How did that work? Because maybe for those who haven't seen, really, again, go to his Instagram profile. You posted some incredible pictures in full rubber in this bus in Germany, I guess, because
yes.
How did you arrange that?
That was all 9 till 5 man who lives in Stuttgart and knows like all the cool people. I'll just break the magic, fine. He happens to have a friend who owns a bus as a thing, because like, you know, there's just like there's rubber fans and comic fans, there's also bus fans, which I didn't know at all. So this friend owns a bus, and he just, you know, let us take pictures in it. And yeah, and then like, you know, because it's a bus that like it's also sometimes used for like public stuff, like it looks like a city, like a normal bus, but it's private.
we won't spread the magic around it, so just...
Yeah.
I have two how to say, maybe two quick things before opening up. So thinking about games, for instance, what Johnny just mentioned also about photographs and all the work, it's clear who is doing most of the work in a session, right?
That is correct. I mean, it's yes and no. I mean, it is. I guess it is a mutual undertaking. I mean, because we do discuss beforehand of you know, the consent of taking photos, which I mean is for any scene, you know, and anything, you know, for some people it might seem like a little thing, but I mean it's important to talk about. I mean, before we do a scene, usually we're rearranging some of the furniture or tools of where we want it positioned in the room, and then it's my turn to get bound, and then it's all in the hands of the dominant at that point.
And so for both of you, thinking about all the different aspects of gimping and droning, so is it then more submission or domination? Or can there be also dominant part?
Oh, I'm definitely a sub, like 100%. Like I mean, you know, I've tried switching and doming sometimes, and it's cute, but like it's just cute because like I'm pretty bad at it. And shut up! What are you saying?
No, you're not. Don't you remember? We did switch play at one of the parties at MIR.
That's true, but like, okay, so you found me decent?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay.
I was pretty upset that evening because after I was done doming you, and I had reached down to undo one of the cuffs, and my suit blew out. Like just all along the shoulder blade and side of the torso, and it was just like it was a real mood killer. It really brought me out of headspace. Like it made me depressed that evening. But you got me up on one of the other devices.
It was a cross, I think, or something, right?
It was like one of those. I think it was like a hospital bed with similar restraints to Segufix, but like this, you could like
Oh.
I guess roll the bed like upwards or downwards. But I was pretty much standing up the whole time on the bed. But yeah, you did a good job. I'm not good. I didn't complain. I mean,
Well, I had no idea what I was doing, but thank you.
so what? It shouldn't matter. When you're in a group setting like that and you're surrounded by familiars, and you know it no one's going to notice if you're doing a good job or not. You're all in the same mindset and headspace, and you want to have fun. I mean, that's the main point of all this. We're trying to have fun.
And that's exactly where I'm so interested in let's say I've never seen a GIMP. I don't know GIMP. I don't know drone. What do you get out of it? What is the kick of for you two? Could you say some things about why is it hot, or what do you get from it?
So I guess for me, it's definitely the feeling of suiting up, which requires a lot of lube, and this feels like a second skin to me.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Mute
Sorry,
yourself, Jack.
sorry, ignore this. That was
But for me, when I see others in rubber, to me, it feels like almost like a collective mindset. Almost, well, yeah, almost collective, like the Borg in Star Trek. You know, for instance, it just invokes that same type of feeling that, okay, there's going to be, you know, we're in this skin tight suit. Some of us have masks on, or masks or hoods or gas masks, and it's just it's I guess camaraderie and just mutual fun together. I mean,
Feeling
yeah, I'm very much 100. Well, I shouldn't say I'm all sub. I mean, for the purposes of bondage, I am really all sub. But if I'm in the crowded room with other people in rubber latex, you know, then I'm more apt to, let's say, join in and maybe help dominate someone else, where normally I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. For me, because for me, I would want the same thing done to me. I would want like a room of just like, okay, here are the rubber hands. They're coming to, you know, they're basically coming to get you. You're going to get tied up. You're going to get maybe some light breath play, a good milking, some electro. That's just my mindset on it.
Yummy stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And Jack, how's that for you? What do you get from it? What do you get out of it? What does your mind do?
so. Okay, it's an interesting. So okay, I think gearing up is a way for me to remove myself from this whole thing. You know, it's almost like I am very. I feel like in my normal life, I just stalk a lot, and I am very dominant, I guess, and I want try to take control of the situation all the time. But then when it comes to kink, like when I gear up and I stop being myself, I am free to, you know, feel and relax and like stop working to get everything together. It's just like a way to escape, to let go. And probably that's why I'm more on the submissive side, right? Because like I need to just disappear. But yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I can definitely, Jack, I can definitely feel you on that, on the need to just like let go and disappear, especially with, I mean, you know what I do for a living, so I mean, it's very stressful. So when there's an opportunity to just let go and have someone else be in control, and oh God, just I mean, when I rubber up and heavy bondage is involved, I melt into sub headspace. Like I'm on a different plane, and you know the body's endorphins are just like through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, you know, who needs weed, for instance, when you just have bondage instead. Yeah.
That should be a quote for the day. Who needs weed when you got bondage? Great.
Okay, then my very last question before opening it up. Which part at MIR was that, Johnny, that I take notes for?
Oh, I'll let you know. I mean, if MIR happens this year,
Okay.
I'll send out the room number, and
Oh, it was a private party.
yeah, maybe a select few can have their way.
Then perfect time for any questions.
Whatever gets you through the